You can sit in the middle if you want to. And, look at her just smiling. Yes, we're back with another episode, another rider. Today we have the lovely Sylvia in the house, and she's a child therapist. So nice to have you here today, Sylvia.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay, feel free to protect your voice, you know. Why therapy and why child therapy?
You know what? Because I didn't have an easy childhood. I had a lot of hardship when I was growing up, and there was one person who was there for me. So I remember calling her, crying, and she was able to hold me. She didn't do anything else but listened. And later on I realized how much that meant. And I wanted to be that voice for other children and just be there for them. So that's why I became a therapist.
So you allowed your trauma to become a positive?
Yes.
That's interesting. How would you, so how does your session work then?
So I work with toys, sentries, clays, play-dohs, therapeutic stories, visualization. So I do meet with the parents or the carers and the school, obviously, to go through what's the reason of the referral. And then I meet with the child where I explain all the rules. We do have very few rules in therapy, but the basics are we don't hurt each other, and then obviously the rooms and the toys. And and then I just follow the child's lead, and then we go from there.
How old are these children, ranging from?
So my very youngest one, I think, was 2, and it can go up until teenage age, like 15, 16.
Okay. So wait a minute, a 2-year-old, does it really talk?
They do talk a little bit, but actually you observe their play, because play is the natural language and way children express themselves. So from looking at the play, you can get a lot of information about a child and what's going on in the world.
Oh yeah, I heard about that some children, if they play mummy and daddy, you can see how they're treated at home.
Pretty much, but not just daddy and mummy. Whatever they play out, that's normally what they experienced or observed somewhere, or how they feel, what's going on inside them in their little internal world.
Okay, I hear you. Mm-hmm. Is there? You spoke about, for your experience, it was a lot of listening. Do you find that you have to do a lot of listening?
I do have a lot of listening. So it's a child-led, and we normally reflect and ask questions, children, but it's normally on a, I wonder, how do you feel about it, or what's going on for you. So we don't lead the child. We're waiting for them for the invitation, and then you can reflect and track their play.
You spoke about the toys. Do you find that people, when they're doing something, they can talk better rather than if they're just...
Yes, because they get distracted. They don't notice how much they actually open up while play, or while they're drawing and painting or doing Play-Doh. Because somehow that activity calms your nervous system, because it's tactile, or you're doing it, and then it's easier to open up when you're doing play.
That being said, as a podcaster and a taxi driver, the job is a lot like a therapist, because when I've interviewed people, they really open up in the car. And I found, especially when I had a car, well, this has got tinted windows, but before, my previous car didn't have tinted windows. Would you say that that's the same kind of thing?
I think people open up to strangers easier, because it feels like you don't know me, so you're less likely going to judge me.
Okay.
And then the likelihood that I'm going to see you again is very small, let's be honest.
What have you learned since you've been a child therapist that you wish you knew when you had started?
Trust yourself, that you know what you're doing, and the child will let you know anyway. I think I question myself a lot, and that's something we do therapists, and even when you have experience, there are clients when you feel like, oh, I'm not quite sure, but that's why we have, clinical supervision to discuss this.
Oh, to discuss your actions.
Yes, that you work ethically, and then if you feel you are stuck, there is somebody else who can give you a different perspective.
That being said, have you ever found that you've had a child that you just can't help?
I do. You will come across in your profession or in your work that you can't save everybody, and then there are different reasons why you can't save them. Is it because the therapy ends abruptly because the child moves, or the funding ends, or there is something, maybe you're not qualified enough, or you don't have experience yet?
So you're constantly doing courses then?
Yes, you do have to do CPD courses every year for a certain amount of hours.
Okay, and so that's a CBP?
CPD.
CBD. What's that? Child development?
It's courses, for development.
Okay, alright.
Personal, development. So
Okay.
you know what's going on, the new research is, you're up to date.
Mm-hmm. What would you be your advice to the younger you and the young girl from Lithuania who's coming to live in England?
That's a good question. What would I advise to myself? I think that you are good enough, and don't allow other people to tell you otherwise. I remember how many times my teachers told me I'm stupid.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you go to school here?
No, back in Hungary. And then I did my uni here, but when I was in Hungary at school, like my math teacher, my physics teacher, they constantly called me stupid, and it really stays with you. And then you have this inner voice that I'm not good enough, I can't do it. So I think my advice would be, don't listen to these people.
Okay, yeah, but as a young child,
It is hard.
that's very hard.
Yeah.
And did you tell your father, tell your parents?
No, because that was something in the culture and normal.
Okay. Alright, well, I don't know what to say. Maybe I'm a bit liberal in that respect. Okay. What does the future hold for you?
I'm not sure. I have plans and dreams, and hopefully I can make them happen.
And what are those dreams?
Now, one of my dreams is opening a clinic for children who are medically ill and helping their families. So that's my biggest dream for now.
Okay. How do you deal with the mental side of things for yourself personally, your mental health?
I do have my own therapist at the start, and I do lots of movement, Pilates, walking in the nature, meditation, sometimes journaling.
Should all therapists have some activity that de-stresses them?
I think they should, because movement is really great, but it doesn't mean it works for everybody. I think you need to find something that works for you, whether it's listening music and singing, or going to the yoga or Pilates, or have a run. Whatever works for you, but you need to do it. Otherwise you burn out quite quickly.
Talking about burnout, I found when I used to do my interviews and they weren't video, they're just audio, people would tell me some real devastating stuff about what's happened to them, whether as adults or children, and it became a burden. Not a burden, it became a weight that would feel like it's just you're carrying, and I felt like I was in a pressure cooker.
If you're not trained, it's hard to hold the heavy feelings and other people's traumas, yes.
And then what happened, I ended up telling my friend the stories, obviously omitting the people's names and places. And once I told her that stories, it just felt like the pressure cooker lift was released. And I just felt, I feel so much better now. That's a lot to contend with in your industry.
It is a lot of containment, yes, and that's why we recommend that between between sessions, just shake it off and breathe. I mean, we don't have a lot of time between sessions, literally like 10-15 minutes, but that's why it's really important. Just have a cold drink, shake it off, or do something very quickly to regulate yourself again, because then there's another child with another heaviness, another nervous system who needs to be regulated.
Okay. Yeah.
There is a lady called Lisa Dion, and we had a training with her at the conference, and she was sharing it that if you think about it, you spend 5-6 hours in trauma when you work with people, because for 5-6 hours you work non-stop with people and then listening their trauma, which means your body feels that you are experiencing that trauma. So that's an awful lot of time spending in trauma response.
Do you find the cases are quite similar with your clients?
Yes and no. There are loads of cases now with ADHD and autism, but then every child is different, so there are no same children, but that's quite similar. But no, I have a lot of variety of referrals and children actually.
Why would somebody go and see a therapist for ADHD?
Helping them to understand how their brain works, why they are different, accepting that they are different and it's okay, or if they have difficulties, with friendships.
Okay.
Impulse control, anger, shyness, self-esteem.
What do you find over the years that you can just look at someone and observe them for 5 minutes and then just notice what the real issue is?
I think I need a little bit more than 5 minutes, but then yes, you can figure it out after a while that, okay, what's going on.
So with your job, you're kind of tapped into the social work, child protection, all these different things. Do you find yourself having to call those people after a session often, or is it not as bad as it used to be? You've been in the industry 10 years, you said.
Well, I don't really call them, it's the schools. Obviously we have the designated safeguard lead person, so if I have concerns I go to that person and then they make the call. But we do have a lot of cases with social workers involved actually.
Do you, because of the age group, do you get a lot of kind of gang grooming cases?
Not yet, no.
Not yet, okay.
No, because my age group actually at the moment is more like 40-11.
Okay. Alright. What have you learned about human beings over this time?
That everybody just wants to be seen and loved.
Yeah. I guess you're right there. I said, I guess you're right there.
Yes, because loads of, let's say, difficult behaviors could be changed with gentleness and love, but if you would listen what that child or person needs. And the core is real love. I want to be heard, I want to be seen, I want to be loved.
Now, you spoke about you had your own demons when you were younger. Would you say you're over those things by now, or is it something that therapists always kind of carry, even though they're helping other people?
Processing. There are still things that I need to process, or things that come up in my relationships, or sometimes you find yourself, you parallel healing alongside a child because they trigger something in you that you went through as a person, and then they're going through as well. So it's not uncommon for therapists to attract clients who go through something similar that you're going through, and that shows you what you need to work on as yourself. But then also you can heal with the child, and it's not a bad thing.
Okay, so that brings to mind about certain subjects or certain topics. If it's close to you, is that a basis to reject that person's case? Say, listen, I can't help you because obviously you're not going to tell them the reason. You're just going to say professional basis, I'm going to have to transfer you to somebody else.
You take those cases to your supervisor, and then you discuss it with your supervisor. Is it ethical for me to work with this child or not? And then if the decision that it's not, then obviously you refer them to another practitioner. But if you can, then obviously you discuss that with your supervisor along the journey and then with your therapist to make sure that you don't get triggered and flooded during the session.
Okay, that's good. Do you ever regret becoming a therapist?
No, I never regretted it. I love my job, and if you ask me what's my dream job, that would be it. So I'm lucky I have my dream job.
So you're living the dream.
Well, yes and no. It's not a dream to listen stories what children went through, because some of the stories are really hard. But I feel privileged that they share it with me and trust me.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Trust is a big thing.
And you have to earn it. You know, some children need a long time to build a trust with you because of the reason what they went through.
And how do you earn that?
Pardon?
How do you earn it?
How do you earn it? First, you have to build a relationship, a connection. And then somehow there is always something that happens that kind of proves the child that they can trust you. But it takes time. Just first, if you have a child who's been betrayed and couldn't trust adults because they didn't listen to her or him, first you need to connect. You have to spend a lot of time to connect and show up no matter what they do and how they speak to you or things like that.
Yeah, okay. That's good. Sorry, there's so many questions rushing through my mind.
That's okay. Take
And
your time.
yeah, counselling course.
Yes.
I didn't pass, and one of the main reasons I didn't pass was because in my mind, I knew I wasn't the kind of person who's going to sit down and talk to somebody for a year and a half about the same issue.
Do you feel you self-sabotaged yourself?
No.
Okay.
I think I just don't. I'm more of a person who would say, okay, this is going to be a 6 weeks program. We're going to talk about your problems. You're going to tell me all about your problems in the first 2 weeks. Second 2 weeks, we're going to talk about finding solutions and what would realistically work. The third 2 weeks, that's it. We're going to execute, and then you've gone on about your business.
Okay, so maybe you need CBT therapy then.
What's that?
The cognitive behavior therapy, when you actually retrain people's brain.
Oh, so you're hypnotising them?
No, you're not hypnotizing. You identify what's the problem. Let's say low self-esteem or something.
Yeah.
And then you put them in a positive spin. But let's say that why they feel that way, and then you break it down. That why is it true for them, and then you find the core, and then you put it in a positive, and then you train them to tell themselves, obviously, that, and then that's how it works.
What's the longest you spoke to a patient for, as in years
My
or months?
longest, I think my longest at the moment is over a year. A child, we've been working together for over a year now.
Yeah.
But it took us a long, long time to build the trust.
What's the shortest time you've interviewed somebody, had a conversation with someone, like a sessions?
The shortest time I worked with a child, well, probably 6 sessions.
That was it. Where? No, I just realised I was going to ask. You spoke about like funding may have run out.
Yeah.
So you're dealing with someone, you realise that they're going to need more funding
Yeah.
to continue with you. They can't get the funding for whatever reasons. How do you manage that? Because you build a bond with the child, you kind of reassure them or make them feel at least that you're their saviour. And then suddenly, well, sorry, they can't pay me, so I've got to let you go. How do you manage that? Because the child's feeling upset, you're probably not feeling the best, but at the end of the day, you've got to pay your bills. how does that work?
Well, that's a really hard one. So I don't know if you know, but they reduced the adoption and the special guardianship funding.
Oh, I was adopted.
And we used to got a bigger budget, and then now it's like pretty much 40% less.
So is this for you to talk to people or people to adopt or foster their children?
So when you foster and adopt a child, or when you have special guardianship, then normally you have social workers involved, and it's pretty evident that obviously the child needs therapy, and then the new parents need support because that child, experience lots of things. So it's not that easy to obviously channel that child and help them. So these families got the therapy and then the funding for it, but it's been massively reduced. So I have cases where I've been paid by this fund, and it was really bad because we follow the financial year, and because the government announced the new budget quite late, that meant that everybody submitted this funding application at the same time, so there was a massive delay of getting the response whether you're gonna get this lower money or not. So it was really bad because I started working with children, and then obviously at Easter I had to stop because it's an Easter break. And then because of this application delay and the funding, when I got back from holiday I couldn't start working with these children again. And obviously they came to see you that, oh, I want to come to see you, why can't I see you? And it's awful because you need to explain to the child age appropriately that it's not up to you, that you can see them, and then make sure that they don't feel rejected because they obviously see that other children still can come. So what I did for those periods, I offered them like little check-ins that they can come and see me for 10-15 minutes. It's not a proper therapy session, but just to check in, just to still keep the connection and make sure that I'm not rejecting that child.
Okay.
But normally when you get a funding, you get a sort of calculated number how many sessions you're going to have with the child. So on my first session, I always ask the child that, do you know why you're seeing me? And then they tell me yes or no.
And do they normally know why they're seeing you?
Normally they do. And then if...
Are they in denial about it?
Not really. And then I ask them, do you want me to tell you why you are seeing me? And some of them says yes, some of them no. I said no, I don't want to know. And then if they say yes, then I obviously tell them that this is what I know about you. Would you like to share something that I don't know, or is it correct? Because sometimes adults tell their version, but I'm curious about to hear your version. But I know that you may be not ready to tell me right now, but I always upfront with the child what I know about them, and I'm not limboing around that and hiding it, because then it's not trust and not being authentic. And then when you get the funding, you know that, okay, this funding is for half year, so you can calculate, okay, in half year I can do, 20 sessions. So then you tell the child that, I'm gonna see you for half year, and it's like, 20 weeks, but you always start before ending, like you leave around 5 sessions and you start telling the child that, okay, we have 5 more sessions, just to prepare them for the ending, so it's a healthy ending, not an abrupt ending. And then you can say that, I'm saying that we have 5 sessions, so I prepare you for that, but I might gonna see you longer if the funding or if the money comes through.
Okay.
But that's how you can prepare them, that it's not a shock and not another person who let them down. But then obviously there are some cases when it's an abrupt ending, and then you can't really do much about it. Then if you are lucky, you can offer one session to still offer an ending, but sometimes you can't, and then unfortunately it is what it is. It feels awful, but there are some cases when it does happen.
Yeah. I suppose the worst case scenario is to see one of your children on the news.
Yes, I never
in a
had
negative
to see
light.
that
In a
yet.
negative light, of course. Yeah. Good stuff. Well, I see you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Where can people find you?
I have my own Instagram and I have my own website. So my website is sylvieplaytherapy.com.
Silver plate.
Sylvie Play Therapy. So it's my name, my first name Sylvie, and Play Therapy.
Okay, play therapy.
Play Therapy.
I thought you said plate. Okay.
No, Play.
Therapy. So your name is spelt
SYLVIE.
right? VIE.
VIE.
Okay, it says A here.
SYLVIE.
Yeah.
And then the Instagram is again Sylvie Play Therapy.
Okay, that's good. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to let people follow you,
Thank you.
and hopefully you get more clients and keep on doing the good work. But before you go, how do you find London?
It changed a lot since I moved here. So that's been now 17 years. It's changed in various ways. Some things are not good.
What-
And then hope.
What's not good?
But there are lots of things I could say as my profession is not so good. You know, with the fundings and, you know, how I wish we could have had a therapist in every single school. Yeah, and just be more mindful about mental health. And then obviously, you know, the prices we know about, the cost of living and accessing, you know, mental health. We can talk about CAMHS, how they're overwhelmed, and, you know, the waiting list is months and years.
What was the biggest culture shock when coming to live in London?
I think because I come from a very small town, you know, the loads of different nationalities was a culture shock for me. That, you know, there are so many different religions and cultures existing together, and learning about them, so to make sure that I'm not rude to people.
Yes.
And actually, you know, be brave and ask that, you know, can you tell me more about this, because I don't know about it. So I don't want to ask something to hurt you, or if I ask something, it's not because I want to hurt you, it's because I don't know about it.
Yeah.
So do please educate me so I know more about it.
I understand that totally. Well, Sylvia, well, thanks a lot for that, and we wish you well.